What is up, everyone? We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 for a little VFR trip. It's been a while since we've done something in the 152, so we're going to be doing all hand flying today. And this is going to be a cool trip. This is a trip I actually found based on a real one from a video on YouTube. So what we will be doing, we'll pull up SkyVector real quick. There we go. What we will be doing, we're in Houston. And we will be making a flight from, let's see, what is it? Hooksfield in Houston down to Galveston. And we're going to be using the I-10 corridor for VFR traffic. So we'll fly south down to I-10 and then use this corridor to the east. And then once we get clear of Houston Hobby, then we'll turn back south towards Galveston. This is a real, actually this is a really popular corridor type of trip that they fly in Houston, and there is at least one video online I know of that has this trip. It was really cool to watch, looked really interesting, and is a nice low-level flight by downtown and to the beach, basically down to Galveston. So this should be a really cool trip. It's beautiful weather. Hooks is going to be, David Wayne Hooks is going to be 0106 knots, 10 statute miles clear. And Galveston is going to be 350, 12 knots, 10 statute miles clear. So beautiful weather, won't be a factor the whole way. It'd be about a 45-minute trip, give or take, something like that. So we got the plane up and running. Let's hop in it real fast and make sure everything is good to go. I think we are. Alright, here we are, coming up on our departure runway. We're going to do an intersection takeoff. We don't need the full runway, not for this 152. We'll get up really quick. So we're just going to go right here and depart from this intersection with the taxi lights in the middle of the taxiway. That's something I wish you would see get fixed at some point. The taxiway lights are just all kind of willy-nilly. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. All right, let's hop, let's set our parking brake. Let's hop in the plane real quick, go over a few things, and we'll depart. Okay, let's see. We have our beacon going. Let's go ahead and get nav. Let's get strobe. Let's get landing lights. Everything else should be fine. We don't need takeoff flaps for this. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's taxi back out on the runway, and we will depart. Make sure we got our altimeter set as well. That's good, and it's clear. No traffic on final, so that's good. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and open the throttle. We'll get right to it. Love flying the 152. It's one of my absolute favorite aircraft to fly. It really just is. Nothing fancy. All right, through 40 knots, coming up on 50, we'll rotate. Nothing fancy about this plane at all. You know, it's just a good old-fashioned, you know, analog instruments, no electronics and all that stuff. Let's see, we'll climb at 70. We'll let the airspeed pick up to 70 and we'll climb about there. It's a good teaching airplane. It really is. For the basics of it, it's a great aircraft. It flies really well. It's just a fun plane. I've flown it a lot. I really have. First plane I flew in the sim when I got it, because it'd been so many years since I've flown, you know, done any flight simulation flying, stuff like that. I needed to, you know, get reacclimated with it, and this was the plane to do it. All right, so coming up on 1,000 feet, we're going to be cruising at 1,500 feet, and we'll depart on our 45 here. We'll head out this way a little bit. That should be good. Should be through 1,000 right now. Let's keep climbing. Keep climbing a little bit more. 1,500 feet is going to be the magic number. I think that's the only number, really, 1,500 feet or below. through that corridor. And we got just a little bit further and we'll be right there at it. There we go, 1,500 feet. All right, let's go ahead and start turning on course. We got to start heading back to the south. Back to the south, we'll pick up I-10 visually, and then we'll fly it to the east for a bit. And she's still wanting to climb on me. We need to trim her down just a tad. Come on. Just a little bit there. Just a little bit. Well, that's too much. The only thing about flight simming is not having that little, not having the touch, not being able to like physically feel things and know, hey, I'm moving the trim wheel just a tiny bit to get what I need, or, you know, let's pull the throttle back too. We need to do that. We'll cruise at about 2,400 RPM. That'll help too. That'll help our trim situation just a tad as well. All right, here we go. We got United 299 directly ahead. I don't know if he's going to hobby or international on that. Houston's a busy Class B. You know, they've got the two pretty busy airports here. So they definitely have quite a bit of traffic. Let's keep trimming her up just a tad. Come on. It doesn't help that my joystick has so much slop in it. It's got like probably 1/8 of an inch of play in it. I've had this thing for years. I've had this joystick since the early 2000s. To give you an idea of how long we've actually had this, Merity and I got these joysticks back when Jump to Lightspeed came out for Star Wars Galaxies. That is exactly why we got these joysticks, was to do that. So I've had these for quite a long time. They sat in the closet packed away for years and years until I got FS2020, decided to try it out. And I'm glad I did. I think eventually I'm going to have to upgrade joysticks and maybe rotor pedals as well. I like this joystick because it has the built-in throttle. That's the great thing about it. And United decided to make a U-turn. Now he's going the other way. I don't think United's completely sure what he's wanting to do. Alright, so now that we're established and on our way, I need to look at this flyway chart. And we should be going by some kind of a stadium. And then we'll see I-10 will be right there at it. In the chart, there's actually some really tall towers that are depicted as well, but unfortunately we don't have radio towers in Sim. I wish we did. They are great landmarks. They really just are. That looks like traffic directly in front of us too. I can't, it looks like some lights flashing down there. I can't quite make it out. I'll be honest, this is kind of tough, not being not being familiar with the area. I'm looking. I don't think that's I-10 right there. I'm not quite getting all the landmarks that I need. Maybe that was I-10 actually. Okay, no, that wasn't I-10. I keep seeing that light, like directly in front of me on the horizon there. Okay, I know, those are lead-in lights. That's lead-in lights flashing. I bet that's Ellington Field down there. I'd be willing to bet that's what that is. Okay. All right, we're clear on that. Let's go to the Houston TAC. See if it has anything else. All right, starting to get a little bit high. Got to get back on altitude here. Alright, we'll keep plugging along on the southern direction. Had to turn a little bit more back towards the south there. Lots of major highways and stuff like that around here. And that is not it either. Alright, there's downtown Houston. So I know we're going to fly to the east just north of that. Go back to the flyway chart. We'll just follow this road all the way south. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday. It's getting on into the week. Had the time change. I wasn't too bad this morning. Wasn't too bad. Yesterday felt like the longest day ever. It really just did. It seemed like it just took forever. Alright, so we should be coming up on I-10 any time now. That may be I-10 like directly in front of us, just off the nose, just off the tip of our nose there. Nice to get some hand flying in. It's been I don't get a whole lot of hand flying in. Not for the entire trip. Usually departure and landing. The A320's got that bug where, and it is actually a bug. I confirmed that the other day. I looked at the forum. And there were lots of people talking about when you're on final and you disconnect the autopilot, you lose your pitch control on the aircraft. And the only way to get it back is to push up the throttle manually. It's like auto throttle, something's canceling it out. I don't know what, but there's several people on that thread that were talking about that. So I know it's just not me. It's not the air, or it is the aircraft. It's just some kind of bug. It's not an intentional thing. So got that weirdness going on with it. That really sucks. But now I know what to do. I'm kind of curious, like when you disengage or disconnect the autopilot, your own final like that, what it would do, like if you could get your pitch control back if you disconnected the auto thrust or auto throttle and then re-engaged it, if that might help as well. So that'll be something I test out the next time I fly the plane. Citation seems to be doing really good. That I was really impressed with it. The last trip up to Aspen from yesterday with the working title mod. Love the working title mod. They've added a whole lot to that plane. And really tweaked it and made it quite an enjoyable plane to fly. The thrust seems a lot better now. It's fun plane. It's a fun plane too. I really like it. First several times I flew it, it was really hard not to let it get away from you. And I think a lot of people had that issue with it. Now, those business jets are little rockets anyway, but they've toned the thrust back to what it's supposed to be like, and it flies and handles really well. I'm really pleased with that plane now. And we'll probably be doing a lot more in the Citation. Alright, so now we're coming over I-20. We would be talking to ATC for this. This would be flight following through the Class B. But because ATC sucks in sim, we won't be talking to them. My trial is up for pilot to ATC. Unfortunately, I just don't have the money to get it right now. So at some point I'd like to, but won't be doing it right yet. All right, so we carry on this way to the east. And there's a beautiful downtown Houston. So far, a really nice trip. It's the ride is like smooth as glass. There's not much bumping us around, or just a really nice, calm flying day. We'll see what it's like when we get down on the Gulf. All right, that looks like Hobby over there about 2 o'clock. The lead-in lights for it. And Ellington Field would be just a little bit more to the southeast of there. Hobby is the field we flew into. I think we flew a Citation down here. I think we did. I think that's the one where they had a whole bunch of AI traffic ahead of us. We had to do some 360s on final, and like it's a big mess because most of the planes were going missed approach. And so it was a huge ordeal, but we got down. We made it. It wasn't a horrible trip. Alright, still got traffic out there. Houston International. You see how you watch the plane, you watch my nose, or the vertical speed indicator. You see it's going down, and I'll bump back on it. Like I didn't even really move the stick, I just bumped it. And it's climbing now, and then now it's back down. That's the slop in my joystick. Like I said, it's like 1/8 of an inch. It's not much at all. And I could adjust that out probably with the sensitivity. There's probably a way to adjust that out. Just put a dead zone in there. But I haven't messed with it. I probably need to do that. Sit down and actually figure that out. Alright, coming up on downtown Houston. Should have done the flight just a tad later, just a little bit. Alright, looking at my flyway chart here, got to figure out exactly where we need to make our turn back to the south. It's still a bit on out. Yeah, we still got a little ways to go here. Just keep flying along I-10. And we'll get about to the water out there straight ahead. You can barely make it out off the nose there. And then we'll turn back on course towards Galveston. So this is a neat trip. It's not a direct trip, you know, it's kind of a roundabout way to get down there, but it's the best way to do it via the flyways and stay out of all the traffic of both the airports. And it's cool, the video that I watched on YouTube of the real life flight doing this, I remember seeing these rail yards in it. That's really cool. And I think our weather for Galveston is out of 350. Let's see, 350 at 12 knots, 10 statute miles clear. So we'll go to Galveston and enter like a left downwind for let's see, what runway is this? 36. I see a tower way off in the distance right here. That is actually on the flyway chart. That's about the location where I want to turn back to the south towards Galveston. So I'm not sure what that is. What that, I don't know what that is. Looks like a really big built-up industrial area over here. Still got SkyWest hanging out over there. 5190. What is that? 5192. Yeah, she don't want to climb with me again. Don't see much traffic down here at Hobby. Let's see, we need to figure out field elevation for Galveston. Should be close to sea level. Where's it at? Where's it at? 5 feet. Okay. We'll have 1,000-foot pattern altitude. Yeah, I need to adjust this slop out. That would help immensely. Go back to our skyway, our flyway chart. Look at it. We'll turn somewhere between that monument, yeah, it's some kind of monument, it's at that tower, in Baytown Airport. Here, if I'm looking at it right, if that's what I think that is. Go to our TAC chart here. Yeah, San Jacinto Monument, Scott Bay. About Scott Bay is when we'll turn back to the south. Baytown will be just on the other side of the bay there. Just a little bit. You'll see a bunch of, looks like oil wells and or tanks and stuff like that over there. We could actually go ahead and turn down, well, I don't know, that highway's kind of close. We're right about on the edge of the 10,000 to surface airspace. We probably need to go out a little bit further. I think this highway is about as far east when we cross it over here. It's about as far east as you want to go. Got a little bit further, it gets clear of Ellington Field as well. There, we're still under I-10 here. You can see about 11 o'clock off the panel there. Off the cowl or whatever. And in just a minute, we'll be making our turn to the south towards Galveston. Alright, let's make a turn. Like some grain elevators and stuff down here, that's cool. The bay is really super built up. They got a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of refineries and things of that nature. Tanks, storage tanks, and ooh, they even have the ships too, that's cool. right, little field right, just a little past 12 o'clock there is going to be Laporte Field, I guess how you pronounce that. That's really cool. That's a really neat monument. I think it's big too. I don't know anything about it though. To be honest, I don't know anything about that. Let's get a picture of it here. Alright, got our picture. We missed it too, but the Battleship Texas is down there as well. You can see it. Got it for the, that'll probably be the thumbnail, but... Yeah, let's get our map back up here. Let's see, there we go. Alright, so we'll continue out over, we'll go over this little airfield here and out over the bay just a tad, and then we'll be coming into Galveston. Galveston would be way out there on the horizon at 12 o'clock. Really cool how this area is all built up and has all the industry and the refineries and things of that nature. That's cool. I see the lead-in lights for Galveston already, way out there at the 12. Alright, so with that being out there, let's turn just a little bit to the west of it. Alright, so coming into Galveston now. We're a little bit to the north, and I'm trying to get oriented with the field here. I think that the lead-in lights that we're looking for is actually for runway 14 for the ILS. 14 has an ILS, so that would be the lead-in lights for it. I think 36 is... Well, I saw it. I don't see it now. That's one of the hardest things about flying like this is kind of mentally picturing how you're coming into an airport, you know, into an airfield, and setting yourself up for your arrival, entering your traffic pattern and all that stuff. All right, I see the flashing light. That should be the end of runway 18. As soon as we cross this last little bit of land right here, we'll go ahead and descend down to 1,000 feet to pattern altitude. I think I'm getting us lined up right for it. I hope so. We'll find out shortly. It'd be cool if we had pilot control lighting too. That'd be really neat. Now, Galveston has a tower. I don't think it'd be active this time of the day though. I'm not really sure on the hours of operation, but... I keep seeing the lights off the end of runway 18 flashing here and there. There they are. They're just kind of barely visible there. There, we'll turn a little bit more towards the airfield, and as soon as we get back over this little bit of water right here, we'll go down to 1,000 feet. I mean, yeah, 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet is what we're looking for. Double check our weather real quick. Sky vector 340 at 12 knots, so we're good with that. What is the other runway here? Three two. Okay. All right, there. I got the runway in sight, so we set ourselves up for our traffic pattern. We'll come in a little bit closer. We're actually supposed to like enter at a 45 midfield. If we want to do this like exactly the way you're supposed to, at least that's the way I understand it. Like I said, as in all my videos, I'm not a real life pilot. Just a flight simulation enthusiast, not giving instruction or anything like that. If you learn a little something in flight simming from this, then that's great. I'm absolutely ecstatic that you have. It's just purely for entertainment and stuff like that. So I try to do it reasonably close. I don't do everything. I generally don't go through like full checklists. I don't do cold dark starts. It's purely just flying around, that sort of thing. Every once in a while I'll do a cold and dark start. If I do a checklist, it's usually just like a really abbreviated kind of checklist. I'm the world's worst about forgetting landing lights, like, passing through 10,000 feet. I forget them all the time. I really need to have like a checklist to just kind of remind me of that, or get in that habit of like the basic things, the basics. There, let's go ahead and pull the power back, and we'll hit carb heat. We'll do that. I don't generally do carb heat, but we'll start doing that, and we'll descend down to pattern altitude 1,000 feet above the field, and we'll start slowing down as well, at least a little bit more. So what we try to do is come in at a 45 midfield or mid runway, and then enter our downwind. Beam the numbers, pull the power back, slow up. I like to slow up to 70 and get first notch flaps. Start descending a little shallow descent, and then when you get 45 degrees off the end of the runway, turn for base. Continue your descent. And your second notch flaps, and then on final, short final, I might get third notch. It depends on like like how high you are. If you're really high, then I'll go ahead and grab full flaps. I don't generally grab full though. I usually just do 2, but yeah, let's get our view adjusted just a tad here. We're a little bit, just a hair below pattern altitude. That'll be all right. All right, let's go ahead and turn a 180. There we go. All right. And the runway's about halfway up the support there, so that's good. That's about where you want it to have the correct distance out. And as soon as we get a beam, the numbers, we'll pull the power back. We'll slow to 70, grab our flaps, and start our descent. Got some condos and stuff down here on the beach, looks like. Alright, let's pull the power back. Do 1700. Keep the nose up, slow the plane. We'll get it in the arc, grab our first notch flaps. And there we go. It's going to slow down more now. We'll get to 70 and we'll start descending. And then when we get on a 45, we'll turn base. All right, back to 1700. There we go, that's looking good. All right, it's on the 45 off the end of the runway. Go ahead and turn our base. Keep our descent going here. I kind of let up off of it just a tad. All right, getting a little bit fast. That's all right though. Some people like to come in fast, you know, a little faster. Some people come in really slow. It just depends on the pilot, I guess. They're a little bit high. We got to get on down here. Pull our power back to 15. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and turn in. Very nice sunset arrival in Galveston. That's beautiful. And we'll dogleg it just a tad, but that's okay. And what's our speed look like? We need to come on back on the power just a tad. We'll go ahead and get full flap since we're a little bit high, a little bit fast. We'll do that. Speed's coming on back. There we go. Put our throttle just a little bit more. Alright, looking good. 2 red, 2 white. A little bit low. I'm gonna throttle just a tad, pull up. There we go, back on it. Looking very nice. There we go. Very calm day. There's not much for wind at all. Alright, go ahead and slowly come back on the power as we're over the threshold, coming up on touchdown point. Pull it off the runway just a tad. There we go. We're down. Welcome to Galveston, guys. That was a nice little flight. That wasn't bad at all. I really want to do this at night, though. I should have bumped the time up a little bit later. I think that would have been a really pretty flight. All right, let's hop out of the airplane. We'll taxi to parking. Figure out where we're going to go. Got our flaps cleaned up. All right, let's stop right here for just a second. We will take care of a few things. Let's set the parking brake. Hop back in the plane. And we'll hit our, we'll hit strobes. We'll get those off. We'll get our taxi light on, landing off. Keep our beacon on, get our nav off. And we shouldn't need dome. All right, and I guess we'll go over here to the fueling area. We'll do that. Look at that dang forklift parked right there in the way. We may not be able to get fuel on this side. I don't think we are. Oh well, we'll go on down, we'll call a truck. There we go, very nice. Very, very nice. What a great trip. And as usual, guys, if you did enjoy this, please remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell. It helps immensely. It's greatly appreciated. Leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see. I always love hearing from you guys. And with all that said, we will catch you in the air next time. Peace.